Thank you. The other day, I watched the film Interstellar, which is about these astronauts and scientists who have to save the world. And it got me thinking, in an apocalyptic situation, my English degree would be completely useless. And then I thought about my personal world and when it needed saving. And I think it was not the scientists, but the writers who came through for me. So when I was growing up, my family moved a lot, and that was probably one of the biggest challenges I had to face. And what made it a little bit easier to face was the fact that I got to bring my best friend with me. His name is Harry Potter. The first big move I can remember was when I was 9 years old. My family was moving from Ohio to Virginia, hundreds of miles away, and one of my friends gave me the first Harry Potter book, and she forced me to read it, which ended up being a very good thing because I was completely captivated by this world, where you've got this kid, Harry, who's feeling a bit lonely, and he's trying to find his place in the world. And then he gets a letter saying that he's been accepted to a magical school. How many of you at age 11 were disappointed when you didn't receive your Hogwarts letter? Well, I wasn't, because I just always assumed the American wizarding education system was different. In fact, I'm still waiting. But in the meantime, I feel like I've been invited to Hogwarts by getting to experience Harry's adventures alongside him. And for all of those summers, because magically, my family moved during the releases of books 4, 5, 6, and 7. I lived not in the lonely neighborhood of my reality, but in the world of Hogwarts, where I had been rooted all these years. And okay, maybe now this is getting a bit extreme, where I'm replacing my reality with fiction. But I think we all do this more than we realize. Take the beginning of this talk, for instance, when it was Interstellar that got me thinking about this whole saving the world thing. And when it comes down to it, Interstellar is just another story. And yet it had the power to make me question my self-worth as a human being. And now I can use Interstellar and Harry Potter to connect my story with yours. And this is what I would do as a kid, where I would be in new places, but I had this imaginary friend of Harry in common with the other kids. And even though I have this strong Gryffindor-esque exterior, I faced a series of challenges as a kid that were maybe not so noticeable to the other kids, like finding the front door to my new school and finding the right hallways and the paths that I had to go down to find my new classroom and meet my new teachers and other students. And of course, none of these little things are life-threatening, but when you add them all together, it was a struggle. And it did help to have that extra ounce of confidence in the form of a shockingly pink Harry Potter backpack. That's how the other kids would recognize that I was a Harry Potter fan. I wore this to the first day of third grade and the first day of university. So fiction can be considered a guilty pleasure. But I think that Harry Potter really did save my life, and it comes down to those words, Harry, you're a wizard. Because reading those words for me was like, you're a wizard, reader, which essentially means you have permission to believe that you're more than this, that there is more than this, that you're capable, special. And who doesn't want to hear that? I want you to think about the stories that you grew up with. Think about how fiction has affected your lives. Think about what it means to escape into a good book, because it's not about leaving your reality, but layering it with new worlds, so that every time you see a lamppost, you think of Narnia, and every rabbit hole could lead to Wonderland. Fiction inspired my English literature degree, but 3 years of academia cannot compare to a lifetime of emotional education that all of the characters that I've met in books have given me. And speaking of characters, remember that being a heroine or a hero is just about putting yourself in the context of adventure, about starting your day with once upon a time. and accepting that you are, in fact, a wizard. Thank you.